Hey guys, welcome back to Katawa Shoujo, episode 8. Before we continue things off though, I'd like to remind you guys to like, comment, and share and subscribe to keep the channel momentum going. Also, before we continue things, I'd like to remind you guys to enjoy the video and to be safe from wherever you're watching. And without being said, let's get on to it. The last time, so, last time, the nurse had confronted us about not exercising like we should, so we went to the track down to see track to get some light exercise in. We ran into Emmy, who was doing her own exercise, but we couldn't keep on going because we are too out of shape. And then we came to the class, we take a shower, went to the bathroom to take a shower, ran into Kenji, who naked for some reason. And, well, you know, and then we go to the classroom where we run into Lily, and Shizune. Misha storms into the room. Anyway, hi. Misha pops into the room with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, Hee-chan. Hi. Look, it's the class representative. Hello. Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha's or Shizune's use of the word look. Good morning. Of course, you're not the representative of this class, right? I'm not. Seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she is with me. The other day, I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realized that Lily might actually not know Shizune is present, and she might try to detect whether or not she is, to know who she's talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one who actually talks. Damn, how complicated. I decided to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune. You were here earlier than us. Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though, that Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true, I was here earlier than them, so me saying something like that would definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on. Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival's coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for their events. Even the first years, except you. Wahaha. There is still time to hand it over, isn't there? Today, the deadline is today. You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd have all the necessary paperwork days ago. But someone had to say the deadline. Please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school and then some. The one who does that is me. Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Now she's ready getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's amused though. Hey Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, Hisao, it's alright. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself. If this is about budget, then I'm disappointed you think I have forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Then can I have it, please? Shizune, she might not have it on her at this second. It's not here right now. I asked the students to take care of it for me, students from my class. She emphasizes on the last sentence so much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. I guess it would have. I guess word must have gotten around. So now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away as a class rep. It's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being able to of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay. Well, Misha misses little jab entirely. Shizune doesn't, and she seems torn between being offended by Lily and daring jumping for joy at some prospect of a challenge. Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could possibly what could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. The result was interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with that attitude? I said that they're not something you should be delegating away. Are those class representatives? Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the name of the two students that should have your job. They should have your job if you can't even handle something simple yourself. One form isn't the full extent of what I'm supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she's becoming. She's playing her cards too close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers carefully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Of course, you do so much, class rep. It, it must be so difficult being you. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, but clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of the sarcasm which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't look at each other, that much is clear, but it seems a little much like Lily has had enough of and is ready to push back. I was actually discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all of your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you are confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do comparing myself to you. You're right, the difference between us is like heaven and hell, and it's not hard to guess which one you might represent. The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though even Misha looks she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. You mean she wasn't before? Hee-chan, don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part of the festival, Hee-chan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're doing a lot more to make sure this smoothly than this person. This is the decision you want to pick right here. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could do much even if I wanted. That's right. You shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump into this on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Excuses. Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report, and we repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but as I said back then, I wasn't sure if I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, It will mean being drawn into confrontation with Shizune, and that is what she wants. Whatever, forget it. I turn my back at them. Lily, class is gonna start soon. It's going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I feel Shizune freezing. Maybe this is the first time she's ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave now then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and then turns her on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I feel her eyes burning into my back and can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious, I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but is it really one? But it really is wanting too much. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her Lily was looking for her if I see her. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages in my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbelievable, unbearably loud. The teacher hasn't said anything in over 10 minutes. Instead, opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in any hurry because I have nothing to do. So I stay for a while reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway so I don't have to deal with the crowding in the hallways. I noticed that Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune is signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Shizune is signing so fast. Alright, maybe there's some pent-up anger in there. Misha's trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down, whatever they're discussing. It looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle, and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign everything back the other girl says. It seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished, and the girls sit down at their seat again. Oh, I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on the desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again. Though I suspect that the door is now closed for me. Festival preparation makes it rough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Wherever I see people idling around before after class, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me at first, trying to decide whether or not to ignore me or sneer at me, but in the end, she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her singing onto the speech for me. She doesn't do it well, so it's almost like Shizune is actually transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it rigorously. Well, of course, we're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all of our strength. We should We should we, we would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws, or I think that was encumbrances. No, nothing that would make the festival short of perfect. Shune's passionate speech and Misha's and acting are a really odd fitting for them. Oh, hello. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only a jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers are seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's showing her dislike of Hanako by associating her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, I haven't seen Sato. She came by in the morning though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily. Who stared back at her usual studying ways. What's she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she's intimidating enough. So I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It's a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom working on their festival project, but who knows where that woman is loitering at. You need to find her? She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. It was a little bit answering a simple question, looking off it like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah, I can come with you, if it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might become more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression she seems to wear almost constantly, one that makes me be constantly on guard myself. I wonder why. I kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe more like why there could be a person like her, but I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly, so she must have been trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's still something of a dinner crowd. It's just like cafeteria crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because the dinner time is longer than the lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako would be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace in the hallway. It almost feels like we're going down for a stroll together, something I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing though, even though we're walking the same pace. She never comes within an arm's reach of me. I guess she's a little uncomfortable around me, given how shy she is. There doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there's not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even more than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already? Just the library. I was reading. So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. It's not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. It's like I need to be double-layered silk gloves and with padding to even begin interacting with her. Some small talk with her might help her become more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both of our minds. So you and Lily usually hang out together after classes, right? Yes, I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much is rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a school social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may very well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflexive nod. Compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech, Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt as and short as possible. Lily comes to my classroom though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more. Both of us content at the discussion. We reached at an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby where we were met by the group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright? Just keep going. The students pass us without much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up position to my side again as we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It's as if I've never known a shy person before. It isn't as if I've never known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I'd call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would ever have been able to walk beside me like this. She seems completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk up to Lily's classroom continues in a strained silence, while I wasn't her ability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise of coming from Lily's classroom is audible from the hallway, down the hallway. Halfway down the hallway, wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first when we came for me for backup? I wonder. Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can't be the only. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reach the door to class 3-2, with Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me to open the door. Inside, there's a hive of activity. Seemingly every student in the class is talking at once as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made. It must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. There, finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not in the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her, she stands in the front of the class. She seems to be in charge of preparations, or at least busy organizing them. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students perched over the floor in lack of desk space. Guess they hand out entirely out of habit. We finally reach Lily. Hi, Lily. She perks her head up, but breaks off talking, a notably smaller girl who be classmate trying to listen as best she can. Sorry, who? Ah, Hisao. I have Hanako too. Hi. She's pretty skittish considering the number of people around. It isn't too hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment to pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again. For the moment, just ask Moria for his advice. Kenji's busy painting on one of the banners already. A quick nod as she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly turn about, leaning on to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in the corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to make out my face when I met him. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're on high demand. That's right, Class 32 is especially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. A chance to set her mind on something that would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods in affirmation afterwards, so the confident I made the right move. Really gives me a noticeable sigh of relief. Oh, that's good. This might actually get us finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Kenji? Sure. She seems surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met? Our rooms are in the our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast. Friend, I wonder if that's the right word I'd use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminded me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. Well, we'll go help him then. He knows what needs. I'll go. He knows what needs doing, right? That's right. Just ask him if you have any problems. Chorusing an assent, Hanako and I begin to trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey, Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the large half-painted kanji that's stretched down to the sheet in pencil. Kenji? Huh? What? Who is it? If this is the way he treats his class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. He's up from the right. I know that, man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps he walks off from behind them reminds me that she's here. I was just wondering to help with... I just was going to help with the banner, Hanako and I, that is. Hello. Oh, hey, I guess that's okay. As Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about-face, his sudden fox hospitality is slightly unsettling. Alright, women, on second thought, this may not have been a great idea after all. Hanako and I grudgingly see ourselves be down at the opposite side of the cloth banner. To Kenji, noticing that the several small paint tins are on the ground. Class 3-2 noodle stall. You guys are selling noodles on festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside or something. Or something? The non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So, how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do the text, or do you want to switch and do the borders? Text is mine. You do borders. He's surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between the colors to use. By the time I put brush to cloth, she's already started a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off of everyone around her worked. With dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper conspiratorially through, though. Okay, man, why are you here? Hanako just wanted him to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover? I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip him by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here? Obviously, it sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. We gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school, a harsh world. Yes, very harsh. He misuses the true meaning as he leans back, satisfied and sympathetic to his cause. I better get down to work. Finished? Looks like I am. 2, good job. 2 was connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being as close as copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up to the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left, finishing off a sign as well as Lily, and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise, it's getting pretty late. And with that being said, that's all the time that we have for now. But before anything's off though, I'd like to remind you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video, because it helps with channel growth and the algorithm and what have you. Also, follow my socials. You could find them in the description below with everything else, along with the link to join the Discord, which is completely free as it always is, where I have a small community now. Just join in, chat, have a good time, and behave within the rules and all of that. You know, just to make everything go as smoother going forward. And another reason to join the community Discord server is because, well, you know, things aren't, notifications will fail. I live stream Mondays and Fridays at 8 p.m. PST. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.